Question 1. Claims investigation and documentation. An insured reports a fire at their property, and during the investigation, the adjuster discovers that the insured increased their coverage limit significantly just 1 week before the incident. What should the adjuster prioritize in this situation? A. Deny the claim immediately due to suspicion of fraud. B. Report the situation to the Special Investigations Unit. C. For further review. C. Approve the claim to avoid violating unfair claims practices. D. Request a waiver of subrogation before processing the claim. Answer B. Report the situation to the Special Investigations Unit. C. For further review. Explanation. A significant increase in coverage shortly before a loss is a red flag for potential fraud. Reporting to the SIU ensures a thorough investigation while maintaining compliance with legal and ethical standards. Option A is premature without evidence of fraud. Option C overlooks the need for due diligence, and option D is irrelevant in this context. Question 2. Scenario-based. Claims investigation and documentation. Sarah, a claims adjuster, is assigned to handle a claim involving water damage in a commercial property. During her investigation, she discovers discrepancies between the insured's account and the maintenance logs provided by the property manager. The insured claims that the water damage was sudden, while the logs indicate unresolved plumbing issues reported months earlier. And what should Sarah prioritize in this situation to determine coverage eligibility? A. Approve the claim based solely on the insured's statement to expedite settlement. B. Deny the claim immediately due to the maintenance logs indicating pre-existing issues. C. Conduct further investigation, including reviewing the policy's exclusions and consulting experts if necessary. D. Request a waiver of subrogation from the insured before proceeding with the claim. Answer C. Conduct further investigation, including reviewing the policy's exclusions and consulting experts if necessary. Explanation. A thorough investigation is critical in such scenarios. Sarah must verify whether the policy covers damage caused by negligence or pre-existing conditions, reviewing exclusions in the policy, obtaining expert opinions on the cause of damage, and documenting all findings comprehensively are key steps. Approving or denying the claim prematurely. Options. And B. Risks violating ethical and legal standards, such as those outlined in the Unfair Claims Practices Act. Option D. Requesting a waiver of subrogation is unrelated to this stage of claims handling and does not address the discrepancies in the claim. Question 3. Damage assessment and estimation. An insured's residential property suffers fire damage, and the total estimated repair cost is $150,000. The policy includes a $200,000 limit for the dwelling, a 5% deductible, and additional coverage for debris removal up to 10% of the dwelling limit. How much will the insurer pay for the claim, assuming debris removal costs are $12,000 and the repair costs are fully covered under the policy? A. $135,000. B. $147,000. C. $153,000. D. $162,000. Answer C. $153,000. Explanation. Calculate the deductible. Deductible equal $200,000 x 5 per equals $10,000. Subtract the deductible from the repair cost. $150,000. Repair cost $10,000. Deductible equals $140,000. Add debris removal coverage up to 10% of the dwelling limit. $200,000 x 10 per equals $20,000. The debris removal cost is $12,000, which is within the allowable coverage. Total insurer payer equals $140,000. Repair cost after deductible plus $12,000. Debris removal equals $153,000. Options. And B. Underestimate the inclusion of debris removal costs or misapply the deductible. Option D. Overstates the payout exceeding the allowed coverage. The insurer's obligations align with policy provisions and deductible rules. Question 4. Negotiation and settlement. During the settlement process, the insured disputes the valuation of their damaged property and demands a higher payout. The adjuster explains the appraisal process as stipulated in the policy. What is the primary purpose of the appraisal process in this context? A. To allow the insured to negotiate directly with the insurer's appraiser. B. To ensure an impartial resolution of the valuation dispute through third-party appraisers. C. To allow the adjuster to reassess the claim and potentially revise the estimate. D. To provide a legal avenue for the insured to sue the insurer for breach of contract. Answer B. To ensure an impartial resolution of the valuation dispute through third-party appraisers. Explanation. The appraisal process is a policy provision used to resolve disputes regarding claim valuations. It involves each party selecting an appraiser, and if they cannot agree, an umpire is appointed. This ensures impartiality and fairness. Option A misrepresents the appraiser's independence. Option C refers to an adjuster's reassessment, which is not part of the appraisal process. Option D conflates appraisal with legal remedies, which are separate under insurance law. Question 5. Types of insurance. Which of the following is an example of a loss covered under inland marine insurance? A shipment of goods damaged during transit by a carrier. B. Damage to a residential roof caused by hail. C. A vehicle collision resulting in a totaled car. D. A liability claim for an injury occurring on business premises. Answer A. A shipment of goods damaged during transit by a carrier. Explanation. Inland marine insurance covers property in transit, mobile equipment, and specialized property types. Option A directly relates to the transit of goods. Option B falls under homeowners insurance. Option C involves auto insurance. Option D relates to general liability insurance. Inland marine policies address the unique risks of transporting goods or movable property. Question 6. Scenario-based. Claims investigation and documentation. Alex, an independent adjuster, is handling a claim for a homeowner whose basement was flooded. During the inspection, Alex discovers that the water originated from a burst municipal water main outside the insured's property. The homeowner's policy includes exclusions for groundwater seepage, but also contains a provision for sudden and accidental discharge of water. What should Alex do to evaluate the claim? A. Prove the claim since the water discharge was sudden and accidental. B. Deny the claim because the policy excludes all forms of water damage. C. Investigate whether the water main burst qualifies as a covered peril under the policy. D. Recommend the homeowner file a claim with the municipality instead. Answer C. Investigate whether the water main burst qualifies as a covered peril under the policy. Explanation. Alex must determine whether the burst water main constitutes a covered peril under the sudden and accidental discharge of water provision. Exclusions for groundwater seepage may not apply if the water originated from a covered event. Denying the claim outright. Option B is premature without verifying policy terms, while option D may be a valid recommendation later. The adjuster must first determine coverage under the homeowner's policy. Option A assumes coverage without adequate investigation. Question 7. Ethics and professional conduct. A claims adjuster is reviewing a claim and realizes that a previous adjuster overpaid on an earlier claim for the same insured due to an oversight. What is the most ethical course of action for the adjuster? A. Ignore the error to avoid complicating the current claim. B. Adjust the current claim amount to offset the prior overpayment. C. Report the error to the insurer and document it appropriately. D. Contact the insured and demand repayment of the overpaid amount. Answer C. Report the error to the insurer and document it appropriately. Explanation. Ethical conduct requires transparency and accuracy. Reporting the error allows the insurer to address it appropriately, maintaining trust and regulatory compliance. Option A violates ethical standards by ignoring known errors. Option B could be considered unethical as it compromises the integrity of the current claim. Option D is inappropriate without following proper procedures outlined by the insurer and state regulations. Question 8. Claims adjusting fundamentals. Which of the following best describes the first notice of loss? F0 A detailed report submitted by the adjuster after investigating a claim. B. The insured's initial notification to the insurer about a potential claim. C. A settlement offer made by the insurer to resolve a claim. D. A legal document outlining the insurer's denial of coverage. Answer B. The insured's initial notification to the insurer about a potential claim. Explanation. The FNOL is the insured's first step in initiating a claim. It provides basic information about the incident and allows the insurer to begin processing the claim. Option A refers to a later stage in the claims process. Options C and D describe unrelated stages of claims handling. FNOL is vital for timely and accurate claims resolution. Question 9. Damage assessment and estimation. An insured's vehicle sustains collision damage with repair costs estimated at $9,000. The vehicle's actual cash value received is $10,000 and the salvage value is $2,000. If the policy includes a $1,000 deductible, what will the insurer pay if the vehicle is deemed a total loss? A. $9,000. B. $10,000. C. $8,000. D. $7,000. Answer C. $8,000. Explanation. Total loss payer equals A is EV. Deductible $10,000, CV $1,000, deductible equals $10,000. Salvage value is deducted from the payout. $9,000, $2,000, salvage value equals $8,000. The insurer pays $8,000 after accounting for the deductible and salvage value. Option A omits the salvage deduction. Option B ignores the deductible. Option D underestimates the insurer's power. Question 10. Legal and regulatory framework. Under New Hampshire's specific regulations for adjusters, what must an adjuster do when they suspect insurance fraud during a claims investigation? A. Conclude the investigation immediately and deny the claim. B. Report the suspicion to the insurer's Special Investigations Unit. C. Notify the insured and request additional documentation to prove their claim. D. Refer the case directly to the New Hampshire Insurance Department. Answer. B. Report the suspicion to the insurer's Special Investigations Unit. C. Explanation. New Hampshire regulations require adjusters to report suspected fraud to their insurer's SIU for further investigation. Option A is incorrect as it bypasses the investigation process. Option C is inappropriate without escalating to the SIU. Option D is unnecessary unless required by the insurer or state law. The SIU evaluates potential fraud cases and ensures compliance with regulatory and ethical standards. Question 11. Claims investigation and documentation. An adjuster is assigned a claim involving a burglary at a commercial property. The insured submits a list of stolen items, but the list includes items not mentioned in the original police report. What is the adjuster's best course of action? A. Approve the claim based on the insured's sworn statement. B. Deny the claim due to discrepancies with the police report. C. Conduct further investigation to verify the insured's claim and the item's ownership. D. Reduce the claim payment by excluding the disputed items. Answer. C. Conduct further investigation to verify the insured's claim and the item's ownership. Explanation. The adjuster must ensure that the claimed items meet the coverage criteria and are substantiated by evidence. Supporting documentation such as receipts or photos can validate ownership. Denying the claim outright. Option B is inappropriate without further investigation. Proving the claim solely based on the insured's statement. Option A risks overlooking potential fraud. Option D prematurely adjusts the payout without completing due diligence. Question 12. Damage assessment and estimation. The fire damages an insured's residential property, and the adjuster must evaluate replacement cost (RC) and actual cash value (SCV). The replacement cost is $250,000 and depreciation is calculated as 15%. What is the ACV of the property? A. $212,500. B. $225,000. C. $237,500. D. $250,000. Answer. B. $225,000. Explanation. The ACV is calculated as AE equals ERC's depreciation rate. AE equals 250,000. 250,000 x 0.50 equals 250,000. 37,500 equals 225,000. Options A and C incorrectly apply depreciation or miscalculate. Option D assumes no depreciation, which contradicts its CV principles. Question 13. Legal and regulatory framework. What must an adjuster do under the Unfair Claims Practices Act if they cannot complete an investigation within the prescribed statutory time frame? A. Immediately deny the claim due to lack of timely evidence. B. Notify the insured in writing, explaining the delay in providing a revised timeline. C. Submit the incomplete investigation to the insurer for review. D. Close the claim without prejudice and inform the insured. Answer. B. Notify the insured in writing, explaining the delay in providing a revised timeline. Explanation. The Unfair Claims Practices Act mandates transparency and good faith. If delays occur, adjusters must communicate with the insured and provide updates. Failing to do so, Option A, or closing the claim without resolution, Option D, violates legal and ethical standards. Submitting the incomplete investigation, Option C, does not address regulatory requirements for notifying the insured. Question 14. Scenario-based catastrophe claims handling. David, an adjuster, is handling claims after a hurricane in New Hampshire. He encounters a homeowner who claims additional living expenses for a hotel stay after their home was deemed uninhabitable. The homeowner's policy includes ALE coverage but specifies reasonable and necessary expenses. The homeowner's hotel costs exceed the average local rates. What should David do? A. Prove the claim in full as the policy includes ALE coverage. B. Deny the claim entirely as the expenses are excessive. C. Reimburse expenses up to the average local rate and explain the policy terms to the homeowner. D. Recommend the homeowner relocate to a more affordable hotel. Answer. C. Reimburse expenses up to the average local rate and explain the policy terms to the homeowner. Explanation. ALE coverage compensates for necessary expenses incurred due to loss of use but must remain reasonable. David should apply local benchmarks to determine the reimbursement limit while explaining the policy's terms. Option A. Overlooks policy stipulations. Option B. Denies valid coverage. And option D is advisory but does not resolve the claim fairly. Question 15. Policy provisions and contracts. Which of the following policy clauses is most likely to apply when a dispute arises about whether the insured complied with post-loss duties? A. Exclusion clause. B. Insuring agreement. C. Conditions clause. D. Endorsement clause. Answer. C. Conditions clause. Explanation. Conditions clauses outline the obligations of both the insured and insurer, such as timely reporting of losses and providing documentation. Non-compliance can affect claim validity. Exclusion clauses. Option A. Remove specific risks from coverage. Insuring agreements. Option B. Detail covered risks. And endorsements. Option D. Modify standard policy terms. Question 16. Workers' compensation claims. Under New Hampshire workers' compensation laws, which type of injury would most likely qualify for benefits? A. An employee's repetitive stress injury from long-term computer use. B. An employee's injury sustained while commuting to work. C. A recreational injury during a company-sponsored event. D. A pre-existing condition aggravated by non-work activities. Answer A. An employee's repetitive stress injury from long-term computer use. Explanation. Workers' compensation covers injuries arising out of and in the course of employment, including repetitive stress injuries caused by job duties. Commuting injuries, option B, are typically excluded under the coming and going rule. Recreational injuries, option C, are excluded unless explicitly work-related. Pre-existing conditions, option D, are not covered unless aggravated by work. Question 17. Negotiation and settlement. Which of the following is a primary benefit of alternative dispute resolution in claims settlement? A. It eliminates the need for legal representation. B. It ensures faster resolution compared to litigation. C. It guarantees the insured receives a higher settlement. D. It allows adjusters to deny claims without formal procedures. Answer. B. It ensures faster resolution compared to litigation. Explanation. A DR, such as mediation or arbitration, expedites claims resolution and reduces litigation costs. It does not eliminate legal representation. Option A. Or guarantee higher settlements. Option C. Option D misrepresents a DR as a claims denial tool. Question 18. Fraud detection. Which of the following is a red flag for potential insurance fraud in a property claim? A. The insured provides a complete inventory of damaged items. B. The loss occurs shortly after the policy's effective date. C. The insured contacts the adjuster regularly for claim updates. D. The insured cooperates fully with the investigation. Answer. B. The loss occurs shortly after the policy's effective date. Explanation. A claim filed soon after policy inception may indicate fraud. Complete inventories. Option A. Regular communication. Option C. And cooperation. Option D. Are generally consistent with legitimate claims. Adjusters must investigate potential fraud indicators in accordance with state laws and regulations. Question 19. Ethics and professional conduct. What action should an adjuster take if they discover confidential client information being shared inappropriately within their company? A. Ignore the situation if it does not involve their assigned claims. B. Report the breach to their supervisor or compliance officer immediately. C. Confront the individual sharing the information directly. D. Advise the insured of the breach and recommend legal action. Answer. B. Report the breach to their supervisor or compliance officer immediately. Explanation. Ethical standards require adjusters to protect client confidentiality. Reporting the breach ensures the issue is addressed according to company policy and state regulations. Option. Ignores ethical responsibilities. Confronting individuals. Option C. Risks escalation, and advising the insured. Option D. May violate internal protocols. Question 20. Catastrophe claims handling. After large-scale disaster, an adjuster must process claims more rapidly than usual. Which of the following is most critical to ensure compliance with ethical and legal standards during this period? A. Minimizing communication with insureds to save time. B. Prioritizing high-value claims over smaller claims. C. Documenting all findings thoroughly and maintaining transparency. D. Delegating investigative responsibilities to unlicensed staff. Answer: C. Documenting all findings thoroughly and maintaining transparency. Explanation: even during high-demand periods, adjusters must adhere to ethical standards by maintaining thorough documentation and transparency. Options A, B, and D compromise fairness, professionalism, and compliance with licensing laws. Proper handling reflects the adjuster's responsibilities under catastrophe-specific guidelines and the Unfair Claims Practices Act. Question 21. Policy provisions and contracts. Which of the following scenarios is most likely to invoke the policy's exclusion clause? A homeowner's fire damage caused by an unattended candle. B. A vehicle collision where the insured was driving under the influence. C. Theft of insured business property from an off-site storage location. D. Water damage caused by a burst pipe in a commercial property. Answer: B. A vehicle collision where the insured was driving under the influence. Explanation: exclusion clauses specifically outline risks that are not covered by the policy. Driving under the influence is a common exclusion in auto policies. Fire damage, option A, and water damage, option D, are typically covered under standard policies unless explicitly excluded. Theft, option C, may be covered under business property policies if off-site locations are included in the policy terms. Question 22. Legal and regulatory framework under New Hampshire insurance law. How long does an adjuster have to respond to a claim after receiving the first notice of loss? F. Null, they. Within 5 business days. B. Within 10 business days. C. Within a reasonable time as defined by the insurer. D. Within 30 calendar days. Answer: B. Within 10 business days. Explanation: New Hampshire regulations generally require insurers to acknowledge receipt of a claim and begin processing it within 10 business days after the FNOL. Option A underestimates the allowed time frame. Option C lacks specificity required by law, and option D exceeds regulatory guidelines. Question 23. Scenario-based catastrophe claims handling. Following a severe ice storm, James, an adjuster, is assigned a claim involving extensive damage to a residential property. The insured's policy includes a $1,000 deductible and additional coverage for temporary repairs to prevent further damage. The insured has already spent $2,500 on emergency roof topping. How should James handle the insured's expenses? They deduct the $2,500 from the final settlement as it was spent without prior approval. B. Reimburse the $2,500 as temporary repair costs minus the deductible if deemed reasonable and necessary. C. Deny reimbursement for temporary repairs since they exceeded the deductible. D. Include the $2,500 in the claim payment without applying the deductible. Answer: B. Reimburse the $2,500 as temporary repair costs minus the deductible if deemed reasonable and necessary. Explanation: policies often cover reasonable and necessary temporary repairs to prevent further damage, even if performed without prior approval during emergencies. James must subtract the deductible from the claim payment as per policy terms. Option unjustly penalizes the insured. Option C misinterprets the deductible's application, and option D violates standard claims practices by ignoring the deductible. Question 24. Scenario-based claims adjusting fundamentals. Mary, an adjuster, is assigned a claim for a homeowner whose roof was damaged during a hailstorm. The homeowner had the roof repaired before Mary's inspection but provides invoices and photographs as proof. The insurer's policy requires inspection before repairs. What should Mary do? A. Deny the claim due to non-compliance with the inspection requirement. B. Prove the claim based solely on the invoices and photographs. C. Investigate further to validate the repairs and ensure they align with the claimed damage. D. Request a sworn affidavit from the homeowner about the damage. Answer: C. Investigate further to validate the repairs and ensure they align with the claimed damage. Explanation: Mary must ensure the claim is legitimate and aligns with policy terms, while failing to wait for an inspection could complicate the claim. The adjuster should investigate rather than deny it outright. options, and B are premature, and option D may supplement but not replace a thorough investigation. Question 25. Fraud detection. Which of the following is a common method used to detect potential fraud in an insurance claim? A. Relying on the insured's statement without verification. B. Cross-referencing information with databases like ISO claim search. C. Approving all claims promptly to avoid litigation. D. Limiting communication with the insured to prevent disputes. Answer: B. Cross-referencing information with databases like ISO claim search. Explanation: databases such as ISO claim search help identify suspicious patterns, duplicate claims, or prior losses associated with fraud. Option A disregards due diligence. Option C sacrifices proper investigation, and option D hinders the adjuster's ability to gather information. Question 26. Negotiation and settlement. During a settlement negotiation, the insured disagrees with the insurer's appraisal and demands full payment of their claimed amount. What is the adjuster's most appropriate action? A. Deny the claim due to the insured's refusal to accept the appraisal. B. Escalate the disagreement to arbitration or appraisal as outlined in the policy. C. Offer a settlement midway between the claimed amount and the appraisal. D. Recommend the insured pursue litigation to resolve the disagreement. Answer: B. Escalate the disagreement to arbitration or appraisal as outlined in the policy. Explanation: policy provisions often include methods for resolving valuation disputes, such as arbitration or appraisal. These ensure fair resolution without immediate litigation. Option A ignores the insured's rights. Option C could be viewed as arbitrary, and option D bypasses available policy remedies. Question 27. Types of insurance. Which of the following types of policies is designed to cover a business's liability for defective products? A. General liability insurance. B. Professional liability insurance. C. Product liability insurance. D. Workers' compensation insurance. Answer: C. Product liability insurance. Explanation: product liability insurance specifically covers claims related to defective products causing harm. General liability, option A, covers broader risks but not product-specific claims. Professional liability, option B, addresses errors and omissions in professional services. Workers' compensation, option D, pertains to employee injuries. Question 28. Legal and regulatory framework. Under New Hampshire law, when can an insurer deny coverage for non-disclosure by the insured? A. If the non-disclosed fact would have changed the policy's premium. B. If the non-disclosed fact is material to the risk insured. C. If the non-disclosure was accidental and minor. D. If the insurer discovered the non-disclosure after a claim was filed. Answer: B. If the non-disclosed fact is material to the risk insured. Explanation: material misrepresentation or non-disclosure allows an insurer to void coverage if it significantly impacts risk assessment. Options A and D are relevant but not sufficient alone. Option C addresses minor immaterial misrepresentations, which do not justify denial. Question 29. Ethics and professional conduct. An adjuster realizes they are handling a claim for a relative. What is the most ethical course of action? A. Continue handling the claim to expedite settlement. B. Refer the claim to a colleague or supervisor to avoid a conflict of interest. C. Approve the claim to ensure fair treatment. D. Deny the claim to prevent favoritism. Answer: B. Refer the claim to a colleague or supervisor to avoid a conflict of interest. Explanation: handling claims for relatives presents a conflict of interest. Referring the claim ensures impartiality and compliance with ethical standards. Options A, C, and D compromise the adjuster's integrity and professional obligations. Question 30. Workers' compensation claims. Which of the following is NOT typically covered under workers' compensation? A. Medical expenses for workplace injuries. B. Lost wages during recovery from a work-related injury. C. Pain and suffering compensation for a workplace injury. D. Rehabilitation costs for injured workers. Answer: C. Pain and suffering compensation for a workplace injury. Explanation: workers' compensation generally covers medical expenses, lost wages, and rehabilitation costs, but excludes pain and suffering, which is addressed in tort claims outside workers' compensation systems. Options A, B, and D reflect standard benefits provided under workers' compensation laws.